in the village of Aapu, located in the Khargone district of Madhya Pradesh, India. The evening of May 28th seemed as normal as any other. The village was as peaceful as ever, but there was an eerie silence hidden within that calm. Behind the stillness of that evening, there was something beyond anyone's imagination. As the evening turned to night, the villagers went to sleep in their homes. And now the night of May 29th had begun. The entire village had fallen into a deep sleep. Pritam, a 19-year-old young man, lived in this village with his family. That night, he went to sleep on the roof of his house. Pritam often slept on the roof, and this night, too, he covered himself with a sheet and slept without a worry. Now, in the second half of the night, when everyone was still fast asleep, someone approached Pritam's house. With an axe in hand, the person climbed silently onto the roof. Reaching the roof, he looked at Pritam, who was deep in sleep, unaware that his life had only moments left. Suddenly, the man began attacking Pritam violently. With each blow, the roof's surface seemed to take on a terrifying shape. Pritam may have opened his eyes once or twice, but by then, it was too late. Within minutes, Pritam's breath had stopped. So friends, as I can see, and you are also aware, YouTube has been sending out fewer impressions lately, which is why the views are noticeably down. So, I humbly request you all, if you're already subscribed to the channel, please turn the bell icon on again. Also, write, "You can do it," in the comments and like the video. When you comment, the engagement for the video increases, and hopefully, this freezing issue will be resolved. Now back to the story. Hearing this, the victim's mother screamed out in agony, and her cries shook the nearby people. Soon the entire village gathered, shocked and confused. No one could understand how this could happen, and it was becoming a mystery. The brutality that Pritam faced had shaken the village. Those who knew him were also in deep shock. He was a calm boy with no enemies, nor had he ever been involved in any fight or dispute. The villagers immediately informed the police, and as soon as they received the call, a team from the Balwadi police station rushed to the scene. Upon inspecting the roof thoroughly, seeing the bloodstains and everything, it was clear that the murder was committed with extreme cruelty. The first thought that crossed the police's minds was that it could be a case of an old enmity. However, after questioning the villagers, they learned that Pritam had no enemies or grudges with anyone. This left the police puzzled. If he had no enemies, why was he murdered? Could it have been a case of robbery? But when the police thoroughly searched the house, everything was in place and nothing was missing. This ruled out the possibility of a robbery. As the investigation progressed, the case was taking on a more mysterious form. However, during the investigation, the police discovered that Pritam was not alone on the roof that night. His cousin was also sleeping there. This information was crucial for the police. They immediately started questioning the cousin. He said he was in a very deep sleep, which is why he didn't hear anything and wasn't aware of what had happened. However, the police were skeptical. How could such a big incident happen on the roof, and the person sleeping next to him not hear a sound? What do you think happened? Was Pritam's cousin lying? Or was there a deeper secret behind all this? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. But I can confidently say that whatever you think about his cousin is going to be proven wrong, because the mystery behind this is on a completely different level, which will soon be uncovered in the investigation. As the police continued their investigation, they weren't finding any clues or evidence, and the process was slowing down. Then one day the police received shocking information. Pritam's uncle, who lived in the same house, was no longer there. He had taken his family and left for Maharashtra. This was extremely strange for the police. Why would a family member disappear after such a huge incident? Usually during such times, relatives come from afar to support the family. But here, things seemed to be the opposite. This raised suspicion toward the uncle. The police began gathering more information about him, and as they dug into his activities, they discovered even more shocking facts. However, one question still lingered in the minds of the police. How could Pritam's cousin, who was sleeping next to him, not know anything about what happened? And why was there no solid evidence against him that could justify intense questioning? For almost a month, the police were stuck with no leads, not knowing what to do next. But when they found out about the uncle, the case started to seem more solvable. Although there was no concrete evidence, the uncle's actions appeared highly suspicious. His sudden disappearance only added to the mystery. The police then decided it was time to question the uncle thoroughly. They gathered more details about him, and a team was sent to Maharashtra to interrogate him. By now, this had become a routine for the uncle, and he was getting frustrated with the repeated questioning. He began to realize that the truth couldn't be hidden much longer. And so, the next time, the police took the uncle into custody for questioning, and he eventually started revealing everything. Although he remained silent at first, he finally broke under constant pressure and confessed that he was the one who killed Pritam. But why? The police had almost figured it out, but they still didn't know the truth behind the cousin's statement. After the uncle was caught, the police discovered that Pritam and his cousin's sister had a close relationship. Some villagers were already aware of this, but the family seemed to have no knowledge of it. Only the uncle knew that something was going on between them, and this caused gossip to spread in the village. This growing relationship filled the uncle with anger and hatred. He was deeply troubled by Pritam's increasing closeness to his daughter. When feelings of shame and rage overtook him, he felt that his honor was at stake. That's when he decided that the only solution was to kill Pritam. Although the uncle had scolded his daughter over this matter, and even physically punished her once, she had become terrified, which is why she kept quiet during the investigation. The uncle revealed that the final straw was when one night he caught his daughter and Pritam in a compromising situation. Seeing this sight stirred up his emotions, and he immediately formed a plan. On the fateful night of May 29th, when everyone was fast asleep, the uncle took an axe and climbed up to the roof where Pritam was sleeping with his cousin. Without making a sound, he brutally attacked Pritam, giving him no chance to react. After committing the murder, the uncle washed the clothes and hid them. A few days later, when the initial searches of the house didn't find anything, he took the opportunity to burn the clothes by the river, destroying all evidence. He also cleaned and hid the axe. The next morning, he acted completely innocent, sitting among the family and the villagers, mourning the loss that he himself had caused. No one suspected that the person responsible for the murder was sitting right there with them. However, the uncle also revealed the mystery behind why Pritam's cousin, who was sleeping next to him, didn't know anything. We'll discuss that in just a moment, but by this time the police had uncovered most of the truth. They had several pieces of evidence against the uncle, the most important being the blood-stained clothes and the axe. The police even found the spot where the uncle had burned the clothes. They also questioned the uncle's daughter more thoroughly, and she confessed that her father had threatened her into staying silent on the night of the murder. With all this evidence and the uncle's own confession, the case against him was strong. But it also became clear that the cousin wasn't lying. Though he hadn't told the whole truth, he hadn't lied either. It turned out that he was involved in a love affair with another girl from the village, and on that night, he had been waiting for everyone to fall asleep so he could sneak out and meet her. At around 3 a.m., while everyone was in deep sleep, he quietly left to meet his girlfriend. At that very moment, the uncle seized the opportunity and committed the crime. The cousin had been lying because he didn't want his secret love story to come out. He knew that in a village like theirs, such relationships could lead to serious trouble. So what do you think? Did the uncle do the right thing? Was there no other way? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon to keep watching videos like this.